It's Joanna Berger, animal behaviorist, and I wanted to make a little video about social foraging behavior of parrots. So I was having a conversation with one of my Twitter followers earlier today about how her Amazon likes to try to drink her coffee, and we were just talking about social foraging behavior in general. And it's a common thing that parrots will try to drink your coffee, and the reason that that happens is that parrots are social foragers, and what that means is that they look to their flock mates to try to learn what is safe to eat. So they will get really interested in a food item that another bird in their flock has in the wild. They're looking at their what we call conspecifics, which means members of the same species, and those tend to be their relatives, or the flock mates are just members of the same social group. And so it's a survival mechanism that has evolved to keep adult parrots safe. Baby parrots are fed by their parents initially, and then they learn from their parents when they're in the nest hollow in the wild. So they start learning early in life about food and what is safe to eat. But then once they become adults, it's important for them to be cautious about things that could be dangerous, and that helps them survive. You know, they are predated or eaten by many different larger animals, so they do have to be careful. And there are all sorts of things in the rainforest. There's, many things that they might encounter, and they wouldn't always know whether those things were poisonous or toxic or venomous or good to eat. So if you are a wild parrot in the rainforest, you need to forage for and find food so that you can, eat and stay alive and be healthy, but you also need to avoid anything that might be poisonous, that could kill you or make you sick. So they've evolved this mechanism of social foraging where they watch other birds who are more experienced. It's sort of like a type of social learning or observational learning, where they're observing the other members of their flock, and if they see a parrot of their own species eating a certain type of fruit or nut, they'll go over there and join them in eating that, because they know that if that bird is eating it, it's safe to eat. And this is instinctual. It's a very old mechanism that has carried on for many generations. And so pet birds or birds living in captivity in zoos or other locations still have this instinct, and they will still want to copy their flock mates and eat whatever they're eating. It gets a little complicated when we have pet birds, because we are a different species than our parrots. Humans will eat foods that are not safe for parrots to eat. But if parrots are living with us, they are seeing us as flock mates and looking to us for guidance. And that's how you can end up having a bird trying to drink the coffee that you are drinking. Coffee is fine for humans to drink, but it's not safe for parrots to drink. And so then you may hear your avian veterinarian tell you, don't let your parrot have any coffee, it's bad for them. But it seems, easy for the vet to say that, but a lot harder in the reality of your home setting when you're having your morning coffee, because your parrot is a social forager and has this instinctual drive to check out what you're ingesting and try some of it, because they think that it's safe because you're eating it or drinking it. This can be used to your advantage when you are training your parrot or introducing your bird to new enrichment items. A great way to introduce them to a new item so that it's not scary for them is to pretend to eat that item or to actually eat it. So I know a woman who very successfully switched her bird from eating a seed diet that was not very nutritious over to eating Harrison's pellets, which are a more balanced, more nutritious bird diet. At the suggestion of her veterinarian, she switched the diets. But the way that she did this was really clever. She put the Harrison's bird food pellets in a bowl and started pretending to eat them. And she would hold the pellet up and say, you know, I'm eating this. It's and act out like pretending it was the most delicious thing. And her bird watched her and then wanted to try the pellets. And that makes total sense based on their social foraging behavior. And not just with pellets, you can try this with new toys, or as I talked about in the last video about my contest, which is called #pumpkins4parrots. So we're having some chats on Twitter about how you can, even as a parrot guardian, take a pumpkin and either really eat it or pretend to eat it. And that can be a great way to introduce your bird to the pumpkin so that it doesn't seem like a scary, dangerous thing and they trust it more quickly. And they will be likely to go ahead and eat the pumpkin because they've seen somebody that they look to for guidance eating it or pretending to eat it. You just have to be a pretty good actor. Just try your best to pretend to eat these things if they aren't actually edible or tasty. But then there are some things like broccoli and other greens like kale or you know, all these things that we want to get our birds eating that are nutritious for them. We humans can eat them within view of our birds, so our bird is watching us and we're eating the broccoli. They're seeing that and learning that even though maybe it's new to them, it is a good thing to eat. So there's definitely a useful side of the social foraging behavior. There's a way that we can use that to our advantage, but it does make it extra hard to stop our parrots from eating things that are toxic to them or that are not very nutritious, so they really shouldn't be eating. So as a behaviorist, I totally understand why parrot guardians who love their birds may be letting their birds eat things that really are not healthy. And even though they love their bird, and they want what is best for their bird, they might be letting their bird eat stuff that's really, really bad for them, or bad if it's not eaten in just a tiny moderation. So things with a lot of salt, a lot of sugar, are too much for birds, but they tend to be readily available for people and they taste good to us. So if you're you know, just eating your meal, but your meal has a lot of salt or sugary content, and you know, you're enjoying how good it tastes to you, your bird is going to see you enjoying that, and then they'll want to try it. And it'll be really important for you to be very careful about this, because it is their instinctual tendency to eat things that their flock mates are eating. In the wild, we don't have Oreos growing on trees. We don't have, you know, Little Debbie snacks or bread or hot cross buns or bagels or chicken wings are not like growing on trees in the rainforest. For the most part, those are processed foods that you can only get at grocery stores as a human. So they wouldn't have that problem of seeing their flock mates eating sugary or salty or greasy, unhealthy things in their natural habitat. But when we take them out of their natural habitat and have them in a home environment in our houses, we really have to be aware of this instinct that they have to eat whatever flock mates or people are trying to eat. It would be interesting to study whether or not this is more likely to happen with birds that were hand-reared, who have become imprinted on humans. They're probably even more likely to look to humans for guidance and even more persistent about trying to eat what humans are eating, because they may be less likely to look to other birds for guidance. Or, of course, if you only have a single bird, then there aren't other birds in your home for your one parrot to look to, and then they end up watching you. So just things to keep in mind for the health and welfare of your pets. There is this natural tendency to be a social forager, and it's important that we think about how that plays out in a unnatural setting inside a house, in a human type environment, and how that's a different setting than their natural habitat. And I just think that keeping that in mind can help us with training and with ensuring that our birds are eating the best possible diets. Thank you for watching, and please like if you enjoyed this video. You're welcome to leave a comment with any stories you have about your birds doing this social foraging behavior in your home. It's always interesting to hear your experiences, and I would love for you to subscribe to my channel for more videos about parrot behavior. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.